on to your blood moon lunar eclipse reading. Hope you guys are doing great out there. Let's get straight into this, my friends. Here we go. Remember, all the signs are time-stamped in the description area under the video, so let's get going. First, we have a look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. This is asking you to zoom out, and what feels like an ending right now is actually just a part of a much larger cycle that's being completed at this time. Okay, that it wants you to. This is a karmic reset time. So let's go ahead and cut the deck here. Okay. Best message coming out on that full moon in Sagittarius, please. Do you have, you are good enough full moon in Virgo. It is a full moon in Virgo. This isn't random. This is something that's been building. I believe it's been building since that fire horse came in during that, what was that? That ring of fire solar eclipse. So I do feel it's something that's been going on with everyone, right? Tensions are a little high, but we need to get rid of karma and really make this reset. So this full moon in Virgo is actually talking about this reset, and it's tied to your self-worth. Where have you been overcorrecting, overgiving, or trying to improve yourself, right? So looking at the bigger pictures within, right? That it says, I want you to stop, pause, and look within yourself before moving forward of what it is you truly want. It says you don't have to earn alignment. You already are enough, right? It's just about where you're putting your new, planting your new seeds, putting your best foot forward. What is it that I need to let go of that's tying me down, keeping me in a loop? Okay, guys, let's get some portal cards over here. Okay, I see we do have the soul star chakra activation coming out over here. Fulfilling your soul contracts, remembering who you are, why you came, what you're supposed to be doing. So I do feel like this eclipse is activating your soul level agreements, saying that some contracts are completed and some need to be upgraded and some need to be let go of because they're not serving the purpose. It's already done. They're done. They're completed. Let it go, right? So next card coming out is Merkaba activation. A lot of activation cards over here. And guys, I do have the blood moon guided meditation activation video up for you guys on the second channel. You can check that out in the description area as well. Okay, to help you release and cut these cords of karma. Okay, so you guys may want to check that out. This card is saying you're rising because you're releasing what no longer serves you. So I like the two cards. See, it says you have a soul contract, but now you're transcending. You're rising above. Your higher self is saying, I'm rising above all of this. It's the time is now. Look, both have the same star above the head. Look at that. You're in ascension mode. So it's kind of like you're raising above, you're releasing what no longer matches your frequency. So now it's just about doing so. Either thinking about what it really truly is or just acknowledging that I know that that's what I should be doing and then taking those steps forward. Okay, so let's get some clarifiers with some tarot and then move straight into your own zodiac signs. There it is. Seven of Coins in reverse is asking you something you've been investing isn't growing the way you hope to, or it's done growing and it's not going to continue, right? And that's because it's done, it's closed. So it does feel like this eclipse is redirecting your energy towards what's best for you. So you do have the Ace of Cups. So then it says, hey, what stops receiving your effort makes space for something that's going to fill your heart space. Now it's going to fill you back up. It's going to bring something else in. So whatever is not there, it says, because I'm ready to push something new towards you. Okay, I need you to be open to this. I need you to let that go so I can let the new in. Right? Especially if it's love. Cut those cords, right? So we can really move. So this blood moon really wants you to stop pouring into what drains you and open up to what's genuinely, and truly nourishing you. It could even be just the possibilities of what could be going on if I just let this go. So this is definitely a karmic reset. Okay. This is definitely, like I said, don't take it as a loss. This is a reset, a redirection so that you can plant new seeds for something better. Love it, guys. And remember, guys, I am sending this out to each and every sign. Okay, that way you know where your sign is. Okay, and then, like I said, it'll be time stamped. Okay, so going straight to Aries. Have the Sun to the Two of Pentacles, feeling that overcommitment, feeling disorganized right at this time. Could be really feeling some energy pressures. It's just trying to tell you to stop juggling what's draining you. It's almost like you've been trying to balance too much, Aries, and something is slipping away. But the eclipse is showing you you're, overextending yourself, but there is something beautiful that's coming towards you. Okay, so it's just kind of like you can't rise while juggling what no longer fits. Okay, so just wait for the Sun, because it just feels like as soon as you drop what's unstable, then the Sun has something more stabilizing for you. That's kind of like that Ace of Cups coming in and saying, I'm going to bring in that pleasure. I'm going to bring in that celebration. And you're going to have this beautiful rebirth. You're going to find vitality in things that you may not have felt vitalized in a long time. Really raising that root chakra as well. So I really do like that. Taurus. You've been giving, Taurus, but something about the exchange is starting to create friction, right? You've been giving, but it's causing friction. Where you thought this was balanced, there's actually either competition, ego, or some kind of underlining tension. It could be that maybe you're giving too much and getting breadcrumbs from someone else. So this could feel like maybe you're benefiting someone, but it's also like you're always having to, maybe for some of you, you're trying to prove something to yourself. Maybe you're working really, really hard at like a job, trying to prove yourself, trying to get out there, be seen, and it's not rewarding. It's not coming back towards you. Okay, so the tie to the karmic reset here is just really the eclipse is exposing where giving has turned into a conflict more than it's a beneficial thing for you. You're not meant to fight for unfair treatment. You want it fair, but you're really fighting for unfair treatment. So this blood moon really wants you to stop competing for what you should come naturally from another person. If they're only giving breadcrumbs and you're giving your heart and soul, then it's time to detour yourself. Let go. Reorganize, reprioritize, but don't give so much. You're worth too much to be giving out that much to something or someone that's not giving back. Okay. Gemini. Ooh, look at that. Ten of Cups to the Tower right off the bat. Look at that. Whoa. It looks like, Gemini, on the surface, everything looks fine, but underneath it, there's something that's already shifted within yourself or within the relationship. Take it how it resonates. Maybe both. With the Tower reversed, it's telling me this isn't a sudden collapse. It's something you've been feeling coming for quite a while, right? You may have been trying to hold on to this idea, this person, this happiness, trying to fix it rather than see the real reality of the situation. So the karmic reset is trying to tell you that it isn't here to destroy your joy. It's here to remove this illusion. You remove what you've been trying to hold on to. Maybe it's just the illusion of it's going to actually work. But you've known deep down inside it's not going to work. But maybe if I do A, B, and C, I can try to make it as blissful as possible, even though it doesn't seem to be going my way at all. So the blood moon wants you to stop forcing this kind of picture perfect ending and face what's already changing and, you know, let it go. It's just the avoidance of not wanting it to leave. And there's looking at it from the bigger picture. Very, very nice. So that's like that full moon in Sag. It's saying look at it from a different point of view. Cancer. We do have the Three of Cups to the Page of Cups. Beautiful shift here, guys. I really do like that. Look at this shift, you know. I want you to look at that again. That's a gorgeous shift. And this is really about pulling back from this crowd of people or whatever it is, right? Pulling back from this situation to reconnect with your own heart with the Page of Cups. Something about your social circle or emotional environment feels really off. It could be the workplace, whatever it is. It's going to be different for everyone, but the Three of Cups reverse can be distancing. Maybe you feel someone is distancing themselves. Maybe you've started distancing yourself as well. You could be realizing also that not everyone is on your wavelength anymore and really feeling that. So I do feel like you are stepping away from certain people. I don't feel like it's out of anger. I just feel like it's out of clarity and understanding that we're just not, it's not vibing, you know. And then you have the Page of Cups showing your heart is still open, but you're just being a little more selective about who you're giving your time to, who you're giving your heart to, who you're giving just anything to, right? Because I'm not gonna, you guys don't serve me anymore. So I'm gonna take my heart back, take my time back. And you know, you guys are mostly empaths, so you might even feel like you're emotionally draining, especially at this time when we have this full moon. That's a lot of emotions going on when you have a full moon. So you might even feel even more sensitive at this time emotionally. So I just feel like the eclipse is helping you move from this group approval or whatever's going on. And like I said, it's going to be a little bit different, but definitely towards your more authentic emotion. I don't want to do this, right? I'm taking it back. Going straight to Leo. Oh, look at that. You got the Four of Pentacles in reverse to the Page of Pentacles. Wow. Coming on out. I like that. It's about releasing control to start something new. It feels like you've been holding on really tight over here, Leo. It could be your money to control, to stability. It could even be your pride. Not going to work hard for pennies anymore. I'm worth more. Seeing your self-worth. So it does say that with the Four of Coins over here that you're definitely, your grip is, you know, is loosening around this situation. So you just feel like you can start actually building real structure instead of clinging on to the old structure, something that wasn't working or something that you were trying so hard. It's also kind of a self-protection mode as well. And it could have been you're trying to protect a job, a status, however, a relationship. Maybe it's just not working. And you know that, but you were trying to hold on so tight. So it says, while you are, you know, letting go of this, you're going to notice how new information, new things are coming towards you. I just feel like the eclipse is resetting this relationship with your security, just within yourself, not even talking about anybody else, just like, who am I? You know, and maybe you're even asking yourself the questions of like, you know, why am I holding on to this so tight when it does nothing for me? So I just feel like the blood moon wants you to let go of what feels safe so that you can build what's completely aligned and wait for these messages. I do feel like a lot of you are going to have a lot of good news coming in. New information is on the horizon, and you're going to find new financial opportunities on the horizons as well, where it's actually going to pay you for what you actually put into it, right? Not just making pennies on the dollar. Okay. So I love it. It's like the early stages of this development and major opportunities on the horizon. Very beautiful. Virgo. Have the Knight of Pentacles to the Six of Swords in reverse. Slow and steady is going to win the race. That's for sure. Talking about that unfinished business, transitioning, and I like that because we're talking about that Merkaba. That's the first thing that came into my head was the transitioning as you're ascending from one area of your life to the other. So I do feel like you're staying committed but resisting to move forward on this situation. But you've been so consistent and you're doing the work and you're really showing up for it. But I just feel like the Knight of Coins is saying you're steady, maybe even stubborn in this dedication. Like, there's no way I'm going to give this up. I've worked too hard, right? So you do feel like there is some kind of unfinished business when it comes to this situation, but it can cause delays. And maybe you already feel the delays, but it wants you to transition. So it's time to move on from something that you've been feeling mentally, physically, emotionally tied to. So you could be feeling like you deep down know you've been trying to fix something that's already run its course, and it's just become this karmic loop. You could be trying to redirect it in certain areas, but that's not the way that it wants you to redirect. When it's saying I'm redirecting you into certain areas, it's the letting go of the karmic so it can redirect you into the area of your life that you're supposed to be restructuring, right? Not fixing, so much fixing something that has run its course, right? So it's just kind of saying, I want you to stop carrying around this weight when you've already outgrown it. Libra. Ten of Cups to Five of Cups reversed. Trying to make something happy when you know it's nothing but disappointment. But yet I do feel in a lot of ways that at this time during this full moon, this lunar eclipse, it's going to give you visions of happiness that are really, really strong. And I think that you're starting to really heal from the past disappointment at this time, because there was a lot of disappointment. There was a lot, I think, of trying to fix something that was disappointing, and now you're like moving past it. You're realizing that there's definitely this turning point. And I do feel like you are going to see the bigger picture within this situation. And this is really about turning around now. See, before he couldn't see the Two of Cups behind him, and now it's about you turning around. and seeing what's still standing instead of focusing on what didn't work. So I think that this eclipse really is resetting your emotional perspective. You're not losing happiness, you're releasing the grief, the disappointment, the pain to gain stronger, to gain more emotional fulfillment. So it's kind of like it's saying, I don't want you to worry about these Three of Cups down, about the spilt milk, about what was hurting, what you were mourning, what didn't last. And I want you to open up to the possibilities of what's going to happen. Think about what's moving towards you, not just what was collapsed. Because your dreams are going to come true. There's a lot of good things coming. This Ten of Cups is really towards this Ace of Cups of what new is on the horizon for you. Realizing that everything's going to be okay. Take the healing time that you need so that you can find that hope, that peace, and that overall happiness within. Very beautiful. And remember, you can also watch the guided meditation on the second channel for help if you need that. There's also a cord cutting Mercury retrograde as well. They're kind of right next to each other. They kind of do the same thing. One's a little bit different from the other, but they're still getting rid of cutting cords. Just a little bit different. Okay, but you guys can check that out. Relaxing Whispers. You can find it in the description area. Okay, going on to Scorpio. Two of Swords. Actually, I'm going to put it right here. Actually, I'm just going to push these over here. Two of Swords. To the Knight of Cups. Interesting. Your own energy coming out right there with that Nine of Cups. I'm loving that. But I feel like more than anything, more than just the confusion in itself, it's almost like you're dropping emotional walls. Where you might have felt like you were in a deadlock. You're emotionally guarded because of the Knight of Cups. I just feel like you've been holding on to this decision and been very guarded and protecting your heart by not fully engaging within this situation. Everybody's situation is a little different, so I'm just going to leave it open. But the Knight of Cups is movement and emotional expression. So I just feel like this could definitely be romantic or heartfelt offer, right? But like I said, I'm going to leave it open because it could have been something that you were very creative towards. It could be your job. It could be, I really wanted this. I was very passionate about this. This was where I was supposed to be. See what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it doesn't always have to be romantic. But it does feel like for a lot of you, it could be a heartfelt romantic offer. But you just felt like you were going to keep your heart shut down until you could figure out what the situation was going to really be. Making a decision. Not giving any vulnerability at all to this person if it's a person. And now I feel like you're coming to this conclusion where you're ascending out of pretending like you don't care. That's it. I think you were doing that because you were avoiding it because you wanted to make them believe, or you want to make yourself believe. It's going to come with self first, making yourself believe you didn't care when you really do care. You really do care what happens to this situation. But I do feel like you're going to ascend out of that because I just feel like the blood moon is wanting you to take that emotional risk instead of staying safely closed off from that situation. It could have been because of pain and hurt from the past. So maybe, and maybe they did something. No matter what, I feel like it's someone. Okay, guys. So now it just says we don't need to do that anymore. We can take the risk and come out and say it's going to be okay. Right? It's almost like one of those things, like if you have a job that you really, really want, but you're kind of scared because you're not sure how it's going to be. You're going to take that risk anyways, because deep down inside, you know your authentic place. You know that you're good. There it is. You are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. That's what this is. Thank you, Spirit. I didn't even see it until all of a sudden it just heard. That was it. So that full moon in Virgo is really going to play a big marker here. But I do feel like the full moon in Sagittarius is also going to play that role though too, because it's saying, I want you to look at the bigger picture to be able to see what it is, right? And see why you're not willing to open up this way. Maybe you already know, maybe it was just fear, rejection, not good enough, whatever that full moon is, right, in Virgo. Maybe you guys had a spat and you didn't feel like you wanted to, but then deep down you're like, but I do really want this like this. So there's going to be something there that's it's going to take care of and reset that karma between you and this situation. Okay. Could even be some apologies going on. Sagittarius. Page of Cups to the Devil. Ooh. Okay. That's some big energy right there. And some shifting energy. That's some dynamic energy you guys got going on right there. This is definitely talking about, though, some kind of entangled in some kind of attachment. It's almost like something had started out in this process. Really soft, gentle, almost maybe a kind of innocent curiosity, but then it got its hooks in you deeper. Whatever that attachment is. It's almost like the more I lingered around this situation or got to know this situation, whether it's a person or, it could even be drinking. The more I drank, the more temptation I ended up having. No matter what, it just feels like it's becoming more tempting. And so this is a very karmic card. I mean, this is one of the biggest karmic cards right here. So it's definitely saying the chains of karma must be destroyed. There's nothing but chains here, Sag. And they must be, they must be broken. This could be a pattern of romanticizing, and it can keep you stuck. It could be something that actually feels good, but then binds you, or it was something that used to feel good that doesn't feel good anymore, but it still binds you. Take that how it resonates, okay? But now the blood moon wants you to either enjoy the connection without the temptation, without chaining yourself to it. So it's pretty much saying, don't allow yourself to be punished by the situation. You could give to, if it's nothing hurtful or toxic, right? You could just be giving your way too much of your power to it, right? So it's just kind of this steady entanglement, right? So it's going to be different for everyone, whether it's something you literally need to break away from, and that, and it's been something that's bothering you, or it's just something maybe you're giving a romance relationship too much attention, right? And you're giving away your power. So it's just saying, take your power back. They don't need that much attention, right? They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. They don't need all of that. So always remember, it could be the other way around. Maybe you're realizing this is becoming a little unhealthy. If you're checking in with me 15 times a day, that's obsession, right? So you could even feel like maybe they're doing that and it's time to cut those ties. Okay. Capricorn. Nine of Cups. Seven of Wands. Protecting your happiness, huh? That's really what it is. I'm standing up and I'm protecting my happiness. You've achieved something that feels personally fulfilling over here, Capricorn, and you're saying nothing's going to touch this. It's something that you wanted, because there's definitely, because the Nine of Cups says, this is what I want. So it's saying, this is what I wanted, and I have the satisfaction, and I don't want anyone to touch this. I don't want you to ruin this. It could be a relationship. You don't want other people in your relationship. I'm keeping it, and I'm holding my own, whatever it might be, but you're definitely not going to let anyone ruin this. There could be some karmic ties with other people around you that you feel are always in your business. Okay. And I do feel like they could be questioning your choices, and you're standing your ground about what makes you happy, and you're saying, I'm not going to allow this anymore. So this blood moon wants you to stand firm in what you satisfies you, even if others don't understand it, right? Releasing that karmic bond that you have with this other person who always wants to be in your business. It's not their choice. And I think it's becoming I think there's this kind of conclusion, because you're looking at the bigger picture from the situation, that, you know what? I don't have to justify to you what makes me happy. And I think that that's very important. That there's no justifying for anybody else but yourself. But I think that someone likes to get in your business, and it could be just out of love, but it could become very karmic for you, because it could make you feel like you can't make choices, right? And that weighs on someone, or that maybe they're never happy for you unless it's their choice. And you're saying, no, this is for me. I did this my own. I don't care what you think, right? Because it's really that. And that's good, though, because that's going to bring back the joy and your own control from the situation. But not in a place of conflict. It's going to be in a place of boundaries. Okay. Very beautiful. Okay. Aquarius. You have the Hierophant to the Eight of Cups. Okay. This is powerful. I like this. Walking away from some outdated structure that's going on around you. It's about the belief systems right now, your commitments and your traditions over here, Aquarius. The Hierophant is really showing up as something established, a rule, a relationship, that soul contract that's coming out, or even that mindset. I'm feeling the soul contract over here a lot, though, with the soul star activation. Talking about those soul contracts, things that are meant for you, showing up. But there's a shift, and then the shift is very nice, because the shift is saying you're emotionally detaching from what no longer serves you. This isn't an impulsive move. This is where you're realizing, having the bigger picture to the situation, ascending with the Merkaba activation, and saying, you know what, this no longer resonates with my soul. Yeah. So this is like here's your karmic soul tie right here. This eclipse is really challenging you, where you kind of like, it's challenging you about what you truly feel. Could even be a kind of like you versus them type of situation, thinking back and forth. Just remember, guys, you can respect someone or something and still outgrow it no matter what. That's just the way we work. We have soul growth. Some people just can't keep up, right? And that's not your fault. It's not your fault that they couldn't keep up. You may have even tried to lift them and ascend them, but it's also not always 100% on us to, we can try, but if it doesn't happen, it's not our fault. That's the way they are. Okay, so I just feel like for some of you, you might be like, but I've tried, right? I've tried to make them grow with me. I've tried, but it's not working. So the blood moon really just wants you to stop staying loyal to what you've spiritually surpassed. You can't stay in a job where you feel like everybody there is not reaching the level that you're at. And if you're way above everybody else's level and you know it, and you're not getting the extra money for it, and it's not working for you, then you want to leave. Do you see what I'm saying? That's not being bad. That's common sense. Common sense makes a lot of who we are. So it might even make you feel like you're underappreciated in some areas of your life. I mean, this is evolution energy, and it's making you aligned to where it is you truly need to be. But if you're worth way more money and you know they're not giving you what you're worth in some kind of contract, it could be the contract at work is what I'm talking about right now, because not everybody's going to be relationship. You know that you should be getting that raise, but they're not doing so. It's kind of like being a brain surgeon and being paid as a pediatrician. Okay, that's not what my document says. My document says I can work on your brain. Okay, you're telling me I'm just going to work with kids. Now I can work with kids and their brain. But the whole thing is that you're not a pediatrician, right? You're going to say I'm a brain surgeon. So I should be paid that money. But that's what spiritual evolution is that you should be feeling like you're with someone and in an environment that matches your energy. Otherwise, it's going to pull and drain your energy. So Spirit is pretty much saying over here with this blood moon and saying, I don't want you to feel like you're draining anymore. You know deep down inside that you should be walking away. Give it time. Make sure you're thinking hard before making decisions. No one can make that decision but you. Okay? But you might be feeling pulled that way and wondering, why is it that I just keep wanting? That's why. Because it's saying it's time. Okay? Pisces. Four of Wands to the Moon in reverse, both reversed. Wow. Well, you have the stability here, and you have the illusion here, my Pisces. So it's almost like illusion around your stability is becoming exposed. So it might make you feel imbalanced. So it could feel like once something felt secure is now very uncertain about how this is going. I feel like the Four of Wands in reverse is really your home. It is your home, your foundation, or your relationship. I do feel like, though, for a lot of you, that this is definitely the milestone of not feeling the same of what you felt within the home and the relationship. Something has shifted. There's a major shift. It's like the ground, like you had an earthquake and the ground shifted underneath you. And now it's like walking on broken glass within this family dynamic, home dynamic. But I do like it because the moon being in reverse is saying, but I can clearly see as this full moon is opening, I'm getting my clarity and understanding of why it was so confusing, why it was shifting so badly. So everything that was confusing you of what's going on is becoming very obvious to you of what was hidden. So I just feel like the tie to the karmic reset here is the eclipse is revealing what's been, what you've been kind of sensing around you for a while, but couldn't really put a thumb on it. You know what I mean? I couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't figure out exactly why this keeps happening. So it's not really chaos. It could be, it could feel that way for some of you. It's not a chaotic reading. It's just resurfacing. The truth is surfacing. So, I mean, the blood moon really just wants you to trust what's being revealed instead of clinging to the illusion of the stability of that this is going to work this way, when obviously something shifted so dramatically that it threw you into confusion. So now I don't want you to hang on to what the illusion says could happen. I want you to hang on to the truth of the matter and really logically look at the situation. Then that will make your intuition spark from that point, right? Because you're already going to have your intuition's already going to expose what was hidden. But I don't want you to get caught up in trying to make, it could be like making, you know what I mean? Like kind of making, well, if that happens, it's okay. It'll be this way. No, it says, I want you to step back, see, look at the bigger picture, use it from different pros and cons about the situation. Doing pros and cons is always a great way, because then that gets rid of the, well, it could be this way, right? And then you get misinterpretations from that situation. This way, it just knocks out and then brings in all the clarity. Okay, guys, so very beautiful. So I just feel like release what's unstable so that you can rise into what truly nourishes you. I think that that's going to be the best thing, because if it truly is nourishing what you really need, then you know, now I have the control. Now I've elevated in my intuition, and I can figure out how I'm going to deal with this situation from a logical standpoint, intuitively, and not just an over emotional place, especially when you're dealing with full moon, because it can cause, you don't want any more fog about that situation. Okay, guys are beautiful, and until next time.